Jim, I'm going to congratulate you, but take me through the emotions of getting that close, knowing it's a worthy accomplishment, that it's difficult, even though you've done it here and at George Mason. But also, once you get that close, you expect to win, right?
Yeah, well, here's what I would tell you guys. Yesterday, that was my bad day. I beat myself up. I reviewed the game. I tried to figure out how we could have played better, how I could have helped my guys relax and play with a little more confidence and be better connected like we had done in so many games previously. Today, I'm over that. I'm looking forward to celebrating our run to the Final Four. I have a lot of friends in coaching, both active and retired, who are great coaches, guys I admire, who had great careers. They never made it to the Final Four, ever, not one time. So I'm not going to go review the semifinal game with anybody. I've had enough of that one. I did that all day yesterday.
What does your bad day look like? Because you told us last time that you really suffer these things. And what do you think you could have done differently? Or does that risk asking you to review the semifinal game?
Yeah, here's what I would say, Dan. The whole idea of playing in any game is to play your best basketball, meaning you have to execute your game plan better than your opponent executes its game plan. No matter what that game plan is, no matter who it's against. And in many regards, we played Drake. They executed their game plan better than us for 35 minutes. But we somehow recovered from that. And in the last 5 minutes, did exactly what we needed to do and outscored them 16-1 and moved on from the round of 64-32, where we faced Indiana, the odds-on favorite, a number 2 seed, a team that featured a first-team All-American, a guy 6'10", and our tallest starter was 6'7". And we were able to defeat them, outplayed them, and moved on to the Sweet 16, where we played the number 1 seed, Houston. Then we beat them. Then we had to play Texas, the number 2 seed, and we beat them. So I spent all day yesterday reviewing the national semifinal game. But today, I'm looking back on the history of our program that was dormant from 1971 to 1985. We didn't have one. And now, in the last 12 years, my staff and I have built the program up to be a Final Four team and a national contender. And we're going to keep building this thing and hopefully be back in the Final Four and be a little better to execute our game plan and win a national championship.
Jim, how long have you been married?
This July will be 52 years.
Wow. What does your wife do yesterday, the day you're suffering? What has she learned about how to interact with you?
Well, my wife and I started out when I became a head coach trying to create a family atmosphere and a culture that our players and their families and our fans and the administration and community would get behind and really enjoy. So she's not only like a member of my staff, she is my counselor. We talk, she's got a great feel for people. And she just kept reminding me yesterday about the wins, kind of like I just did with you guys.
What was the best team you played?
Connecticut.
And when you're playing against Connecticut and before the game against Connecticut, did you know that?
Yeah, we did. The problem with Connecticut, just comparing teams, is Connecticut has a tremendous presence inside, but they also have some of the best shooters in the country, which was proven right from the opening tip when they made 3 straight threes. When we played Indiana, we almost dared them to shoot a 3, and we packed it in around Trace Jackson Davis. Against Connecticut, we had the same plan for Sonogo, and he hit 2 threes, and they hit another 3. We're down 9-0. We got to all of a sudden start making adjustments in the first 2 minutes of the game. We pull within 19-16 with about, 10 minutes to go in the half, but we struggled to score because their defense was that good. The guys on our team, they wanted to win so bad. They wanted to play so good. Our offense started breaking it down way too soon. We started going one-on-one way too soon. We didn't get the assists we normally do. We didn't get the quality of shots we normally get. All season long, our offense carried us. We were in the top 10 teams in the country in offensive efficiency. But against Connecticut's defense, we just couldn't do it.
Jim, what do you chalk that up to? Is it nerves? Is it the kids wanting to perform so well on such a big stage for you, for the school, for the fans? What do you chalk that up to?
Or bad matchup, like you were saying. If you've got,
guys, it's all of that. The first thing is that is the biggest stage in college basketball and maybe in sport. I mean, the March Madness is, in my opinion, the greatest sporting event in the world. 3 weeks of drama, 3 weeks of last second shots, and look at the game before us. Florida Atlantic had a sensational season. They led the whole game. Then with no time left on the clock, San Diego State makes a shot to advance to the championship game tonight. These games are normally so exciting that every fan who loves basketball is tuned in and enjoying it. And I'm sure the nation was watching us advance to the Final Four. Beating a number 1 seed like Houston, a number 2 seed like Texas was very dramatic. And those 2 teams all thought they were headed back home to Houston, Texas. So, we had an incredible run. It was a heck of a lot of fun because these players are so much fun to be around. My wife was our ambassador at the hotel. She had one of the volunteers from the NCAA come up and hug her with tears in her eyes and said, "You were in the lobby almost every minute of the day, hugging people, and half of them you didn't even know, but you wanted them to be comfortable and enjoy this event as much as possible. And you certainly did that." And that's always been a characteristic of my wife's personality. She's an ambassador.
When you talk, and the last time you were on with us, you told us about some of the positive emotions that you had and the landmark emotions that you had in the losing. What were the moments that you remember that fill you with both the most gratitude and pain? Because I don't think, Jim, that a lot of people understand that when you devote yourself to this kind of caring, you end up loving these people you're coaching.
Yeah, you guys, some of you might be old enough to remember the TV show Wide World of Sports, where the game, the show begins with a commercial leading up to the show. And the slogan is the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. And that's what sports is. That's what our team went through. And that's what I told them afterwards. I said, I know none of you have seen the Wide World of Sports, but the slogan was the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. And we experienced both over a 1-week period. From the thrill of victory against Houston and Texas to the agony of defeat against UConn. But I could not be more proud of this year's team, the players, the way they conducted themselves as role models, not only of our basketball program, but of the University of Miami. These kids are not just athletes, they're students. They're all going to graduate. They're students who make friends in the campus community. And they made friends with all our fans. They took pictures with everybody, signed autographs with anybody that asked for it. So they did a wonderful job.
We were talking before you came on here, for fans, obviously, losing. The worst way to lose is to lose the way that FAU lost. You're leading all game and then the season ends. How about for a coach? Which is the worst way to lose? The way FAU lost or the way you guys lost?
Yeah, certainly it hurts both ways. But if you lead for the whole game and the opponent beats you at the buzzer, like what happened to FAU, that pain runs longer. Yesterday, I struggled. The pain was there all day long. But if the Dusty May, he's probably got to deal with that for at least another week because of the agony of what he or his team could have done in those last 10 seconds to preserve the victory.
But, Jim, to be clear, you'd rather have that. You'd rather deal with the agony for another 6 days, right? It means you had a chance in the game.
No, here's what I would say. You want your team to play well up to its capability.
Right.
If we had played our normal game, no matter what happens, I'd be happy. Not happy we lost, but at least feel like, hey, we did what we do, and it just didn't work out. Connecticut earned the victory. But we just didn't play the way we normally play. The stage was so big, the emotion so high, it resulted in bad shot selection. We didn't rebound as well as we're capable. One of the things I was happy with, Connecticut is the number 2 rebounding team in the country. And we had almost as many offensive rebounds as they did. I think it was 14-13 or something like that. And so, we gave a great effort. It wasn't our effort. It was our inability to calm down and take the shots we normally shoot.
Last question, Jim. Can you explain to us in empirical terms, in any way that we can understand, what it means to your program? Not emotional terms, real terms. What it will mean to your program going forward, having made it to the Final Four.
Well, here's what I'm hoping. First of all, as a university and as an athletic department and as a member of the Coral Gables and Miami community, I hope the fans will cheer us on in the future. Build a fan base like Duke has, where you can't get a ticket, where the fans are standing throughout the game and the arena is packed every night. From a recruiting standpoint, we have to go out and recruit right now. High school players, portal guys, international kids. And we're hoping they were following our run and have interest now in the University of Miami's basketball program, because we always have to replenish our talent. We had great guys this year, but some of them will move on. Guys like Jordan Miller had a sensational senior year. All right. We have to figure out a way to replace Jordan Miller and anybody else, whether they graduate or transfer or go to the NBA. We need to have more really good players.
Jim, we're going to give it to you because you deserve it, but I'd also like you to guarantee, and I'm with you, I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
Let's guarantee a national championship next year for
That's
the U, while we give you a standing ovation, because you, sir, did a heck of a job.
Guarantee it, Coach.
Yes.
Guarantee it.
Coach.
Yeah. You guys are awfully funny. You're awfully nice.
Guarantee it, Coach.
There's no guarantees in sports.
Oh, come on. Just lie to the fans. That's what coaches do.
Him, Larranaga, he is.
You guys in charge of lying to the fans.
Yes,
Stugotz.
Stugotz can be your lying ambassador. Thank you. He is him, Larranaga. Thank you, sir. Good talking to you, and congratulations.